All right, so the Padres, they dropped game 1 to the Mets in Queens at Citi Field. It was raining. It was a game that was pushed back a little bit. With Matt Waldron on the mound, though, going in, I wasn't concerned that this was gonna affect Waldron's performance because it's the knuckleball pitcher, and he doesn't throw high velocity anyway. Maybe some of the breaking pitches, but I wasn't, again, too concerned about that. He ends up having another great outing, gives up 3 hits, and I know he gave up a couple of runs there. That JD Martinez, it wasn't just JD. There were a couple of hard hit balls there in that, what was that? That 3rd inning there that got the Padres down 2 to nothing. But I thought overall he was able to use his defense to his advantage. Profar made a good catch. Crony made a really good play going up the middle and kind of had a fadeaway throw over to Luis Ariz there at first base. And like again, Matt Walden's job, we got to remember, I know he's not in our eyes anymore, the 5th starter, but that's still what he is going into the season. That's what he was. And I think we still got to be really good with Matt Waldron going 7 innings and giving up 2 earned runs. You know, like I'm going to take that every time. And you hope that the offense will be able to score 3 runs in a game. And they're facing Shamanaya, who I'm sure knows how to pitch to a lot of these Padres hitters, and I'm sure that's why he was able to have some success tonight. He goes 5 innings and got 7 punch outs. Credit to him, he didn't walk a bunch of guys, 1 walk in this game. Um, and you have to go from Manaya to facing Adam Ottavino, who is not an easy guy to face, I wouldn't imagine, with just his delivery. I don't want to say the arm slot, but just everything that goes into facing Ottavino. I could see how that is going to be difficult. And they didn't just have to face him for that 1 inning. He ends up going an inning and 2/3. And then Diekman is another guy that isn't like, I don't think he has the normal delivery, right? And then you have Edwin Diaz, who isn't crapping the bed anymore. It seems like he is back to being the guy that maybe not what was that year? 2022, maybe 2021, where he was like best reliever in baseball. I don't want to say he's at that level, but he's had struggles this year, has come back, and he looked pretty darn good tonight. Pretty nasty. I think Manny on that strikeout looking in the ninth, you got to swing the bat there. You can't be saying that that was a bad call. Um, that was definitely a strike, that 3rd strike. And then Crony strikes out, but it was some nasty pitches there from Edwin Diaz. Obviously, the main complaint is we just want to see more from this offense when they're coming off sweeping the A's. It's not like the Mets are the best team in baseball. And the Padres, you think they'd be familiar with Manaea as well because Manaea was with the Padres, um, obviously in 2022. I liked seeing Merrill obviously have that homer. I would have liked to see what the Padres could have done in that situation when Ariz got on. He tries to take second base. He was safe, but then he ends up getting out because he comes off the bag. I don't know if I want to. I said on Twitter, I blame it on the rain, maybe slipping on, off the bag. But I think Luis would probably, like, he was pissed off at himself too. He'd probably say, I've got to stay on the bag in that situation, obviously. And if he didn't steal, this is obviously easy to say in hindsight, but if he didn't steal in that situation, that ball, I believe, would have been a single because Alonso, I think it was Tatis that was up, would have been a hit because Alonso would have been covering first base. He would have been close to first base because Ariz would have still been at first base. And so maybe that situation would have turned out a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, obviously the Padres, they just didn't do enough offensively, didn't get a hit with runners in scoring position, went 0 for 5, left 5 guys on base. Merrill, I mean, he is going to get stronger. I think we know that. I think that's a sure bet. So for him to be doing this back-to-back games with a homer, his 6th home run on the year, and it's not like he's taking them with these cheap shots to down the right field corner or something. That ball that he hit today, that was hit to, I don't know about the furthest part of the yard. I don't think it was the furthest part, but it was center field, right center field. It wasn't a cheapie. So I'm very interested in seeing how how much more power can Jackson get as he progresses, gets more experience in the big leagues, a full season in the big leagues, which is longer than a minor league season. And I think Kim had to deal with this when he was first in the big leagues. Remember, like just the transition to the big leagues? Obviously, it was different circumstances. He wasn't coming from the minor leagues, but just it's a long, taxing season. So I think Kim, he did put on weight, right, going into these last years under contract here with the Padres to try to get more power and just to try to stay at a better playing weight throughout the year. Because most guys, you're not gaining weight during the season. You're either losing weight or you're trying your best to keep on the weight, you know? So again, that's just something to look forward to in the future. Um, I'm gonna get to the Manny Machado stuff. I think that's one of the main topics from today. By the way, before I got to the Manny, I did want to hit on Profar because Profar came back. He did end up getting pinch run for there late with Jose Azocar, who ended up being on third base in that ninth inning. They got the runner over because Zokar took second, got the runner over on the grounder. Good play by Jeff McNeil. If he didn't make that play, Zokar probably scores. So good job from McNeil, obviously. And it's good to see Profar in there, obviously. This is something where we, at least from what I was reading from Kevin Acee, we pretty much just got to hope that nothing gets torn there from Profar. It may not tear what he has been dealing with there. I don't remember the exact name. Was it patellar tendon, something like that? Knee is what I want to simplify it down to. Um, just because I don't have like the name of the injury right in front of me. And even if I did, I'm not gonna be referring to that, just, talking with you guys here, I'm not gonna be referring to the Profar injury like that. I'll probably just say knee injury because that's just simpler, it's easier to remember. And I guess he's gonna be focusing workouts on his quads, I guess that's what I saw as well. But it's good that he's back. But I think this is a good segue into the Manny topic because we know Profar, he's been the Padres' best offensive player this year, and he's not 100% healthy, and he's playing. It's good to have his bat in lineup. But it's different with Manny because Profar's OPS is 925. He's hitting 326 on the year, where Manny, his OPS is 677. His average is 248. Manny's DHing. It's not like he's playing in the field either. Profar, he made a good running catch in left field tonight, as I mentioned earlier. He's at least playing the field. And Manny today, ground ball to third, routine grounder, and Vientos, I think, was at third. He botches it, and Merrill would have reached someone like that who's running down the line. Manny wasn't running down the line. He was blowing his bubble, running down the line like we've seen, and he does that even when he makes plays in the field, and that's just sometimes what he does. And I could see how that would piss off some Padres fans, like, "Why are you not running?" But if you're someone that watches this team every day and you follow this team closely, you know that Manny probably, 90%, I probably should go like 99.9%. 99.9% sure he's not healthy. He's good enough to go swing the bat and, jog around the bases, but there's a reason why he's not playing the field at third, right? He has been slid down the order. This was before the injury, by the way. But because he is not performing the way that the Padres and Padres fans and Manny himself want him to perform. And so the question comes up, well, why is Manny playing then? It's not like like I said earlier, he's not hitting like Profar. Is he hurting the team by playing when he is not healthy? And what I would say to that is, I guess the Padres have to ask themselves, would they rather have David Peralta in the lineup, who hit that ball hard today, by the way? Rather have David Peralta in the lineup as the DH pretty much every day, right? Or would they rather have Manny in the lineup as the DH? Maybe some in that front office would say not Manny. They'd rather have Peralta in this spot if they know that Manny is not healthy in the way that he is hitting offensively. But I think we also got to remember, and let's be honest here. I'm not in the clubhouse, obviously. I don't exactly know, but I feel like we have a good idea. It's not just the medical staff or the front office or Schilt determining if Manny is playing or not. Manny has a huge contract, obviously. He is viewed as the captain of the team. and he has a big influence in that clubhouse. We know that. It's been reported on. So I assume that Manny has a strong say on if he's playing or not. If he says he's going to play, then he's going to be in the lineup. I think. Mike Schilt seems like he's a player's manager, right? And we know that he speaks positively all the time about his players. And he knows how talented Manny is. And so, and also if you're the training staff, sure, you're probably telling Mike Schilt, hey, don't play him at third base. He's not ready for that. He's not 100% healthy. But if Manny is showing like, hey, I can swing the bat, I can run, now not sprint, but I can run, then if you're the Padres, don't you kind of have to put him in the lineup and keep him in the lineup as long as he says he's good? I mean, don't you? Because it is Manny Machado. It's not David Peralta. It's not Donovan Solano or some other Jose Zoke, some other bench player. It's Manny. Maybe. So I think it's a respect thing from like Schilt, knowing how talented Manny is and how he wants to be out there to help his team. Um, but there definitely is the argument, and it's a valid one, because Manny's not playing great this year and he's not fully healthy, that Manny should not be in the lineup because he's hurting the team more than he is helping the team. He doesn't have a 900 OPS and playing hurt, right? But just to answer the question here, why is Manny playing? Well, because he can swing the bat, he can go on the field and run around a little bit, and he's Manny Machado. He has an influence on, at least I think, on whether he plays or not. I don't think that's some bold hot take or anything like that. I think that's the same with other players in baseball, by the way. I think that's the same with Bryce Harper, probably with Aaron Judge, probably with Juan Soto, probably with the big stars in baseball. If they feel like they can go and they can prove to the training staff that, I don't think that for the stars to play, I don't think that they have to be sprinting to prove that they can play. I think if you're a star player, I think that if you show that you can just run, like 60, 70%, and you show that you can hit and you're fine, then teams are probably going to DH their superstar, their star player, especially someone that has the biggest contract on the team, um, you know, and is the presence of Manny. He's viewed as the captain of the team. I think that they're a lot, and we see this with other sports as well. They get a little bit more leeway in terms of them making decisions, not like the training staff making it for him. You know, I know the training staff they took Manny out. I think Schilt recommended it as well when Manny first got hurt in Anaheim. But again, when you're days removed from that, and I forget how many days he's removed from that now, but when you're removed from that and he's done tests on the field, and again, he's shown the ability to be able to do the like minimal activities to go play, then he's going to play. So that's why he's playing. We'll see if his performance is going to get better. We'll see if he can get that healthier. He's telling the media that, at least from what I've heard, the last homestand, right? From when he was talking to the media, he's saying that yeah, he's feeling good. Things are progressing. I thought that he was going to be taking grounders at third base, so I don't know if that progression has stopped or if that's going to continue, and we're going to see him out there at third base. I don't know, but I guess getting it back to that ground ball to third, I'm not I'm not going to sit here and be all mad about that because I understand that he's not 100%. And even when he is, he doesn't run out baseballs when he hits a routine ground ball. That's not what he's going to do because he has the long-term view to be available to his team the entire year. He has that in his mind. And it definitely now he has it in his mind when the last time he ran out a ball, he ends up getting hurt, you know? So it's one of those things as a fan too, where we're like, well, for those that want to criticize Manny for not hustling enough, well, then when he hustles, he gets hurt. So it's like, can we really criticize him for not hustling? It's not like it was the postseason and there's 2 outs in the ninth inning or something. It's Padres Mets on June 14th, and I think they were down by 1 in that situation. A big swing can tie the game. I think there was no one on base. He's not gonna go sprinting down the line on that ball. Just not.